Ever walked into a place and instantly you're transported, maybe by a song, a memory? Today, we're talking about something even more powerful scent, specifically the intoxicating aroma of oud.
And not just oud in general, we're diving into Arabian oud, the story of how this brand bottled a piece of ancient tradition and turned it into, well, a global empire.
It's a fascinating story. So, to kick things off, for anyone listening who might be new to this world, can you explain what oud actually is? What makes this fragrance so special, so sought after, that people call it liquid gold?
Liquid gold is actually a pretty accurate way to describe it when you consider how oud is formed.
Yeah.
It all starts with the agar-wood tree.
Native to certain parts of Asia, right? I remember reading about that.
Exactly. Now, imagine this tree gets infected, right?
Mhm.
Infected with a specific type of mold. Most trees, they just, wither away. But not the agar-wood.
It fights back.
In a way, yeah.
Wow.
It produces this incredibly fragrant resin deep within its heartwood as a defense mechanism. And that resin, my friend, is your oud.
So we're talking about a tree's immune response, essentially, creating something so incredibly valuable. That
Yeah.
just seems wild to me.
It is wild. And the thing is, it takes decades, sometimes even centuries, for enough of that resin to accumulate to be harvested. No wonder it's so precious.
Wow, so this incredible act of resilience by the tree creates something so luxurious and sought after. I know our research mentioned oud being ingrained in Arab culture for centuries. It's way more than just a pleasant smell over there, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. We're talking tradition, spirituality, even status, all tied up in this one scent. Take bukur, for example. That's the burning of oud chips, a part of religious rituals and ceremonies for ages.
Yeah, I read about that.
And then, of course, you have the oil itself, prized for its complexity. It's often gifted as a symbol of hospitality, respect, even a display of wealth.
Can you believe that? Centuries of tradition, rituals, status, all carried in a single scent. It's like bottled history. And that brings us to the incredible Sheikh Abdulaziz Al Jasser, the founder of Arabian Oud. He saw this incredible fragrance on the verge of, maybe fading away and thought, the world needs to experience this.
And you have to remember, he launched Arabian Oud back in 1982 in Saudi Arabia. Think about that time period. A lot of fragrance houses, they were going all in on synthetic scents, mass production, profit over everything else.
Yeah, cut costs, maximize output, that was the trend.
Exactly. But Sheikh Al Jasser, he had a different vision. He wanted to preserve the art of traditional oud perfumery, using only the highest quality natural oud, even if it meant going against the grain.
He was betting on authenticity in a world that was rapidly becoming, well, less than authentic. What a bold move to choose the real deal when everyone else was going artificial. He must have had some serious faith in the power of this fragrance.
It really did pay off.
Yeah.
In a big way. But it's how Arabian Oud went about it that I find fascinating. They didn't just try to, take over the world overnight. They had a strategy.
Oh, definitely. You can't just parachute into a market like, say, Paris or New York with the fragrance as unique as oud and expect everyone to instantly get it.
Exactly. They focused on their home turf first, Saudi Arabia, the Middle East, the places where people already understood and valued real, authentic oud.
Smart move. Build that reputation for quality where it matters most.
Exactly. They established themselves as the gold standard, the name synonymous with luxury oud fragrances.
And then once they'd solidified that foundation, they could expand outward with confidence.
Right. And they waited for the right moment, the late 90s, early 2000s. Western consumers were starting to crave something different, something unique.
We were ready for something new. I mean, think about it. People were used to, those fresh floral gourmand scents that dominated the market.
Yeah, and then Arabian Oud comes in with these smoky, woody, almost mysterious fragrances.
It's like they introduced a whole new vocabulary of scent. And it paid off, didn't it? Our research mentioned some serious awards coming their way from the fragrance industry. I'm talking prestigious stuff, real recognition for their craftsmanship.
Absolutely. We're talking awards that meant something. They were competing against big names, established houses, and coming out on top. And that's huge. Instant credibility.
People realized this wasn't some marketing ploy. This was real artistry.
Right. It wasn't just a product they were selling. It was an experience, a story, rooted in tradition and quality.
Okay, so they had an amazing product, perfect timing, but what was that secret sauce? How did Arabian Oud manage to not just break into the global market, but thrive in it?
Well, a few things. First, that unwavering commitment to quality. Never compromising on the best natural oud, even when it was tempting to cut corners.
You get what you pay for, as they say. And with something as rare as oud, I bet people were willing to invest.
Totally. But they also understood the power of innovation. They weren't afraid to experiment, to make oud more accessible.
Oh, this is what I find so interesting. When I first heard about oud, I'll admit I pictured something very traditional, maybe a bit intimidating even.
Right, but they found ways to maintain that soul of oud, while also making it more playful, more versatile. Take their fragrance, Calumet, for example. Combines that richness of oud with vanilla, amber. Creates this blend that's both familiar and captivating.
See, that's what I'm talking about. And it's not just Calumet, right? They have fragrances like Woody Blank blending out with citrus and florals.
Exactly. And then there's the whole experience they cultivated. Walking into an Arabian art boutique, it isn't just shopping, it's an event.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. It's more like entering a palace dedicated to scent.
Right. You walk in, you're greeted by this opulent atmosphere, everything's luxurious, the air is thick with these incredible scents, but it's also the staff. They're experts, guiding you, helping you find the perfect scent.
It's like they're selling a feeling as much as they're selling a fragrance.
Exactly. They created a brand that's both aspirational and accessible, luxurious but grounded in tradition.
It does feel like they cracked the code, but I have to imagine with this level of success, new challenges pop up. The fragrance world, it's competitive. And once oud exploded in popularity, once the secret's out about something as amazing as oud, you know the competition's going to come knocking. So how did Arabian oud, with this commitment to the real deal, how did they deal with everyone else rushing in wanting a piece of that liquid gold?
Well, that's exactly it, isn't it? The supply. We've talked about how rare oud is, how long it takes.
Nature doesn't exactly speed up production just because something's trendy.
Exactly. So you have this huge surge in demand. Everyone wants in on oud. That puts incredible pressure on the supply chain, on those agar wood trees.
And on the people harvesting it, the whole ecosystem. Our research on Arabia now, they don't go into crazy detail, but you can tell sustainability is a big deal to them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, their whole thing is about preserving this ancient tradition. And you can't do that if you're exploiting the very thing that makes it possible.
It makes you think. In a world where everything's fast fashion, instant gratification, here's a company thriving by respecting those natural limits, that balance.
And I think consumers are more aware of that now than ever. In a market flooded with trends that come and go, that authenticity, it resonates.
We've covered so much ground in this deep dive. The science behind oud, the culture, Arabian oud's journey from a small shop in Saudi Arabia to a global brand.
It really highlights that sometimes success isn't about chasing the next big thing. It's about honoring tradition, quality, those things that endure.
And maybe just a touch of magic from that incredible agar wood tree. So next time you smell a fragrance that really captivates you, think about the story behind it, the journey from a single resin to a global empire. It's a reminder that the most amazing stories, they often come from the most unexpected places. Until next time, keep exploring, keep discovering, and keep diving deep into the fascinating world around us.